Hey, what's up guys? TDAC back with another World of Tanks review. Today we are going to be going over one of my favorite light tanks in this World of Tanks game from the French tech tree, which we can pull up right now, the Tier 8 AMX 1390. Now, I'm currently grinding out this tank. I've got around 130,000 XP on it. So, in combination with our free XP, we have around 65,000 XP left to the Lorraine 42, which I really look forward to, even though it's not a very nifty tank on paper. So back to the 1390, this is one of my favorite tier 8 tanks in the game. Despite being a light tank, it's very capable and it has a very nice auto-loading cannon and is just a very nice flanker as well as second line tank and can also snipe if need be. So let's get on with this review. Alright, so the basic stats on this 1390 pretty much are really good for tier 8, especially as a light tank, and I'll get into that in a little bit on how the playstyle holds out for this tank and how the autoloader really helps. So let's check that out now. Now, it has a 90mm AMX F3 cannon, which was pretty much a prototype cannon for the AMX 13 series in real life, where the French really just had prototype tanks and it didn't really see combat or go into mass production at all. So the 90mm F3 is a clip gun on the batchat, the 1390, the Lorraine, and the 5100. It serves as the stock gun for the batchat and the Lorraine and 5100. However, it also shoots as a single shot gun on a few heavies. The tier 6 and 7 ARL 44 and M4 45, it is a single shot weapon on them. So it actually is a heavy cannon for the lower tiers, and look at this, it's a light tank cannon at the higher tiers. So really, just a versatile gun that really can carry out many different roles. You can see just right on the paper there. So it holds 6 shells in the magazine, which really helps for counter scouting, especially when you're facing straight shot guns, the single shot guns such as the Wheezy or the RU-251. Especially lower tier tanks of the same class with the auto-loading like T-71s or 1375s, your alpha of 240 damage times 6 is really going to help out there. Now in combination with the 240 alpha on AP and APCR, you do have a little bit of a lacking pen with AP at 170mm. And it's not like it's the T-71 where you have APCR standard rounds, you have AP standard rounds. So what I like to do is I like to load only one clip of AP and the rest APCR. I like to start off the game with AP and see if I can get any early scout kills or counter scouts, depending on where I'm scouting, if I'm being active or passive. And then I like to load the APCR and get the late damage in the game. So the APCR pen is 248, which really helps out for penning tier 10 other tier 10 tanks on the enemy team, such as E100s or mouse tanks or whatever it may be. Pretty much the AP rounds are a no-go in tier 10 games. This thing does see tier 8 through 11, so you're going to be in a lot of tier 10 games zipping around the enemy tanks. So I'm not even going to mention the HE, I guess I'll mention it anyway, but the 45 pen and 320 alpha damage on HE, it's just not worth loading HE in any clip cannon tank, in my opinion, whether it be a 57, Foch 155, no matter what it is, I just don't see the viability in having any HE loaded into those tanks. So the 1390, the only real complaint in terms of shells is the actual count. It holds 36 shells, but I've actually had a few games where I've run out of shells because its reload is around 40 seconds. So the rate of fire is, I don't even think it says it, but the inner clip reload is 2.73 seconds, so you have around almost 3 seconds in between each shell. Times 6 is around 18 seconds, give or take. So it's really just a good overall 90mm cannon, especially for this tier 8 light tank. It really helps out for the playstyle. So the only other things to mention is it has a pretty long aim time of 3 seconds, but if you're playing this tank the right way and have good crew skills and hopefully a enhanced gun length drive, revert stab, whatever it mounts, it'll be a little bit less. Its dispersion at 100 meters is 0.38, which is pretty standard. I guess other soft stats, it has 1,100 hit points, engine power of 350, its top speed is 64 kilometers an hour in combination with a 40 degree per second traverse speed, which really means that you are maneuverable. You're going to be able to have that good camo and stationary, and you're a light tank, so you keep your camo on the move. Even when firing, you're going to be zipping around enemy tanks. They're going to have to swivel their turrets to hit you and hopefully move their holes in ways that you can just get around them. But in all honesty, this tank is a very good tank, and it's really good for tournaments, even tier 8 tank companies, strongholds, even the mini campaigns at tier 8. It's really one of the most mainly used light tanks or tanks at all in those. So the 1390 really is a versatile tank. Other than that, I really just want to go over the view range on it, which is 400, which is standard for tier 10, but you're a tier 8 light tank, so that's going to be a big plus. Now in combination with that, you got a good traversing turret at 46 degrees per second. This tank obviously has no armor whatsoever, 40 millimeters at best. Only things you're going to be bouncing are non-overmatching cannons at a greater than auto bounce angle, so it's not really going to happen much other than like a Soviet medium or maybe even a 105 you might be able to bounce, but you know, don't rely on your armor or you're going to be playing this tank wrong. So rate of fire, I guess it says here, is 6.47 rounds per minute, which is pretty good for a tier 8 light tank. It's got I said the 400 meter view range, which really helps in combination with binocs or coated optics. And the signal range is obviously tier 10, which is a big step up from the previous tanks because they don't have that good of radios in this line. Alright, so I'm trying to think of what else to go over in this preliminary part here. I guess I'll just go to the tech tree and show you guys pretty much what to expect in the 1390 in terms of researching. In my opinion, on the 1390, it's good to research everything. I want to ace this tank. I want to use it eventually as a free XP tank because it is so fun. So you're going to get that stock 75 from the 1375. First thing that I would suggest researching, no matter what, is always the tracks. I don't really feel like doing the math to see if you can get the 90mm without the tracks, so always just do the tracks first on these light tanks, and it really helps out with the traverse speed anyway. So get the tracks, then I suggest the 90mm f3, and then get the engines, and then the radio if you don't already have it. I believe I had one of the first two engines. Yeah, I had the engines from the 1375, and then you just get the last engine, which is 12,000 research. So it's not that much to ace this tank at all. So you can see here that I have almost 130,000 XP on this tank. So we're pretty much around like 65,000, a little over that from the Lorraine 40T, which isn't the best tank on paper, but I'll definitely make a review on that tank next in this series. So that's pretty much it for the preliminary stuff on the 1390. Don't really have much else to go over other than crew skills and loadouts. So stay tuned for that, and then we'll get some on-the-fly gameplay and hopefully a good replay. Okay, crew skills, here we go. So this tank, all the way up to the tier, I believe, yeah, the batchat, it has only 3 crew members, so you're really going to be racking in that crew XP, and it's going to be pretty quick for your crew to level up. So I actually took this out of my Foch and put that crew in here because the Foch got nerfed hard with the nerf bat, and it's not used in clan wars. I hate it in pubs, so I eventually actually got rid of that tank. So other than that, we have the commander, which obviously on this tank, it's a light tank, so I suggest getting camo before you retrain for anything, and then once you get that to, like, I believe 120%, whatever it is, you can retrain back for the perks. So here we have 6 cents on the commander, and then we got clutch braking and Deadeye. Now other than that, I really should retrain and get off the repairs for now and put like the on the move stuff, but I really don't do much on the move shooting unless I'm in close quarters, so it's going to be accurate anyway because you're right in their face. But some viable things on here, obviously camo, repairs, but on the driver I would suggest getting snapshot and smooth ride on the gunner, which really will help with the on-the-move shooting if you are an aggressive player with light tanks. The reason why I got Deadeye is because it does module damage, has a 3% chance more, and you have an autoloader. So for every shot, you're going to have pretty much an 18% chance to at least damage a module in one of your 6 shots. So that'll help out there. If we look at the loadouts here, I like to run, like I said, 1 clip of standard AP, the rest APCR, and 0 HE whatsoever. Just because the late game and auto penning in this tank is really what makes it good, and that's pretty much what helped me get the Mark of Excellence. I'm almost to my 2nd one. So we have a small repair kit, small first aid kit, automatic fire extinguisher, which really helps out there. I have a lot in my depot still from the sale. And that leaves us with equipment. So equipment, you can either, in my opinion, do passive scout, active scout, or a combination of both. I like to do a combination of both because early in the game, you might be able to catch an enemy scout off guard. You can clip him out and then get back to your base, and then passive scout, or you can passive scout, get all the spotting damage, and then go in late game. So that's really how this playstyle is for the AMX 1390. It's either you scout early on and pull back, or you pull back, passive scout, and then go in. There's really no combination. I guess you could say you could active scout, but you're most likely going to die if you do that the whole game, and if you passive scout, you're not going to get enough damage. So with the equipment that helps that out is definitely coated optics, obviously vents because it is a clip gun, and I chose camo net just for the added camo. I do a full camo crew, so I really like that bonus. I really should add exterior camo, which I'll probably do now, but I'm just going to do it with credits because I don't feel like spending the gold right now. I'm low on that. So if you guys are looking for the camo that I like, you'll see right here. So I've got that one, and we go desert. I believe it was this one right here. So it's going to cost a little bit, whatever. I'll apply that camouflage. And we can see what other viable equipment there are. Enhanced gunlaying drive is definitely a viable option because its aim time is really long. Maybe binocs if you're really not aggressive in this tank, and if you're really passive in it, binocs might be a good option for you. So that's pretty much it for the 1390 preliminary stuff. We'll get some gameplay now, and stay tuned. Hey, what's up guys? T-Daisy back with another World of Tanks replay of the week. Now this replay in this specific week is actually going to be of myself and DB Black platooned up, us two YouTubers, in a tier 9 battle on Abbey. So I'm in my 1390 and DB is in his AMX 5120, which is a tier 9 French heavy tank, and I'm in the tier 8 light tank. Now this French duo is pretty much one of the best, if not the best game that I have ever played in the 1390, let alone any tank. Hopefully, I guess I can describe it as much as I can, that this game is one of the best games that I've played so far in my World of Tanks career. Pretty much due to the massive carry and late game play of this 1390 that really aids to finally pull out the win in a lot of situations that really were edgy in this game, and you'll see that as we go ahead. So let's get this thing started. Alright, so we're going into fixed camera view. We will speed this up a little bit and get the show on the road. So, being in a 1390, I don't think I've made a review on this tank yet so far. However, it's one of my favorite tanks in the game, and it's just, oh my god, it's a great tank. Can't really stress that enough. If you guys haven't gotten a 1390 yet, you definitely should check it out and hopefully research one. Getting a little bit of lag here, so go ahead and turn some of my settings down. But other than that, it's really a really mobile tank. It's a light tank. Obviously, it turns relatively well, but just this auto loading cannon on it just makes this tank amazing. So here we can see that me and DB are going towards the 8 line. However, we do spot quite a lot of enemies here. And I get a track on the Indian Panzer, trying to save DB from hopefully getting tracked, which he does get a shot on DB's turret. And here's another bounce from the gold round in my 1390, which really, I should have thought that would have penned at that angle, but I guess not. So DB is trying to hold out against these mediums. Not the best move by going into that middle space there, but I'm going to try and support him as much as I can. So this Bulldog, get a little ghost shell there, and DB is getting ripped apart, and pretty much it's going to be the end for him. So it's really on my hands now to hopefully take out these guys in mid. Get a weird shot there on the Bulldog, and things are not looking too well at the beginning of this game. So I get a shot on there, the rubble, not sure what happened there, and one more shot on the Indian Panzer. Now that was some bad play by us. We didn't really coordinate well, and the beginning of this game really does not go too well for our team. Yeah, T-71's down in the middle. We got Type 61s, YOLO, or 62s, YOLO charging RTDs, spotting them for enemy fire. Well, I mean, enemy fire that hopefully will not happen. But the Type 62 looks to be circling our T-25/2, and he has a turret, so he'll eventually take him out, which the steering mill does. And right now I'm almost clipped up. Still got, looks looks to be 7.65 seconds left on the reload. This T-34-1 is getting ripped apart by a lower tier T-37, which is really mind-boggling, but we're going to let that happen. So with me here, what I really try to do is I just try and really support this middle, because our west flank and east flank are doing relatively well. They haven't fallen yet, but you'll see late game that west just friggin' fails so hard. But at the point here, I really need to conserve my HP because I did lose way too much in the beginning. I need to be able to destroy these tanks as much as I can, as many of them here are one hit for me, especially a Type 59, which is going to be a big threat towards this middle push. Now there is a super Pershing holding down in the middle, so I'm going to have to get behind him or somewhat engage him at range, which then again is not a great opportunity to do that here. So what I need to do is get these guys spotted. Now the super Pershing does decide to be an idiot, however, you look at that, he just YOLOs out, and obviously, because of RNG's sake, he goes unspotted. Now I take a shot on the T-37, does not land, take a shot on the super Pershing, get a no damage pen, and take out the super Pershing. Now since we're up and loaded, Type 59 decides to side scrape, and we take him out too. Now we have one shell left, and you can see that right here, this auto loader on this tank is just ridiculous. You can pump out damage as fast as like I just showed you, get almost a Reaper medal there by getting 2 straight kills with 2 shots, and then I take a shot into the Bulldog and pull away to clip. Now at this point, our west is pushing in hard, and I'm thinking there's an M103 down there, and we have T-28 moving up on him. We've got 2 T-32s, which it looks to be hopefully platooned up down on the 8-9 line. And I can just go ahead, clip, and manhandle that guy if I want to. I can really take a shot from him. But I decide to let this T-28 go first because I don't want to lose my HP for the late game, because I know that our west flank, if that KV-5 dies, can potentially be pincered, and that's pretty much what ends up happening. So this M103 decides to engage these other T-32s, but I have an awful Panther up on the ledge over there, and I don't want to let him snipe at me. And especially with this Ferdinand now getting spotted, I'm going to have to shoot him and take out his HP before our T-32s die. So T-28 and myself get 2 shots on that Ferdinand, get a nice roll of 270, pretty good roll of 266. Average roll of 245, and the T-28 destroys the Ferdinand. Now here's where that awful Panther peeks up, and I don't know if I got spotted. I think my 6th sense actually went off when I shot that Ferdinand. So I do pull back, and I'm not going to let the M103 kill me because I do not want that to happen. So you can see up here that up in that ridge in the actual Abbey part, we do have that light awful Panther, which really is negating me from pushing into this M103 because he's going to be able to shoot me. So I decide to, you know, whatever, take some shots at M103, get 1 shot into his turret, bounce one on his hull. Terrain does not, you know, doesn't decide to let me back up, and I pretty much take that unnecessary shot there as it does kill my driver too. So I'm trying to reverse here, don't let the awful Panther come out and shoot me, which he's actually not, so I'm going to go ahead and clip, put my driver back into the action, and we still have a repair kit left. Now that ends up being big towards the late game, the fact that I do have my repair kit, and I'm really already up to around 5k win 8 with this game, and 2 kills with a little bit over 2,000 damage. I think I did hit a blind shot on that super Pershing also before when he crossed, when kind of camo mechanics fucked up. But whatever, I got 3 seconds left on my reload. Our west has fallen, we're capping their base, and you all know that their PTA is going to come back and outspot or manhandle anyone who's on their base, and that's exactly what happens. Awful Panther somehow manages to take out a half-health T-29 before the T-29 can shoot and kill the Awful Panther once, but, you know, that's just how it works with pubs, and I'm going to have to, you know, pull this game out of my ass, excuse my French, but that's really what we're going to have to do here. So T-32, I end up spotting, get some good position on this berm here, which really ends up helping me out, and that's something that pretty much was lucky for me. I mean, the fact that this T-32 and myself are pretty much hold down really is an advantage for him, but at the same time, he doesn't have the accuracy, and neither do I, so it's going to be a cat and mouse play. And this berm here, since I'm faster than him, he really has to sit out in the open, and I can scooch my way back and forth. And you can see that my ping is not the best right now at like 60, 70, but I do get a shot on his cupola with the gold rounds and take him out. Now one thing to state is I do have a little bit over 2 clips left, so that's going to be a big game changer late game when I am about to run out of rounds. So we've got over the 5k win 8, we've got 2200 damage, 3 kills, and
our team is pretty much folding. So that T-28 is going to help me assist in this push, hopefully in mid. We do have a Tiger 2 that was last spotted at H3, which also will be a threat towards me. We have the Leo in the PTA, also the Foch over there. Able to obviously surprise that Alpha Panther, kill him with one shot, and there's a Leo PTA over there. So I take a shot, RNG screws up, and I've got one shell left. So I'm either going to have to clip here, or, I'm going to have to fire one shell in a clip, so I just decide to clip. We do have this T-28 staying and covering the middle, and I tell him to stay here because while I'm clipping, I don't want anyone ambushing up through this Abbey and catch me off guard, and then they'll be able to circle the T-28 with ease. So he's going to be able to spot anything that comes down there. The real only break in this strategy is the fact that they can outspot us from the H line and snipe us from the F line. They also have the 7, 8, 9 advantage on the map right now. But I'm able to use the T-28 spotting to my advantage, which he obviously is a tomato player, and he's not going to be able to kill his Foch at all. So he doesn't even take a shot at him. He's, I think, completely facing the wrong way, and the Foch is able to take out the T-28. Now that spot does help me because the Foch is reloading, and I'm able to take him out with my gold rounds. However, at the same time, it gives away my position. So I need to get back into the Abbey, break my camo, and bolt. So there's the PTA. He takes a miss, doesn't have the gun impression, and this is really the key engagement that I get so lucky on, yet so non-lucky, especially on these fires shots here with RNG. So the PTA gets a good miss, and I also, there you go, the RNG screwing me up. The PTA, by jumping off the ledge there, taking 400 damage, really was one of the game changers, as I completely missed that last shot, and the RNG really just was not good in this game. I mean, I couldn't take time to change right there, and at the same time I am kind of screwed right now, I think, because I have 25 seconds on my reload and I realize I only have one gold round left. So as this PTA chases me, I'm like, he's just gonna shoot me, but apparently the PTA thinks I'm not reloading and he runs away to break camo, and that's one of the stupidest things you can do in a PTA. I mean, yes, the PTA does have 400 view range, and with the upgraded turret he's gonna be able to hopefully have good camo and better fire rate, but I have a clip cannon and he doesn't know that I have one shot left. And he's obviously going to be able to camo up, but I'm going to outspot him. So here's that Tiger 2, and this is another big problem that I have, because I am outspotting him, and I'm thinking whether to shoot. So I do shoot. I don't get spotted from that. But look at this. I have to clip again. So I'm down to my last 6 rounds. They obviously only have 300 hit points left on their team between the two of them. And I really just get into a spot where I'm going to be able to spot anyone that's in front of me, such as the Tiger 2 right there. And they're going to have to come behind me. And hopefully I'll be able to break line of sight. Now this is a really good position, because if the Leo decides to come with that Tiger, I can just pull back and shoot both of them as I'm retreating. Now the only real thing would be if the Leo goes all the way around back to the G line and comes and gets me. Now the Tiger is completely bad right there, and he completely shoots my track. There's where the repair kit comes in to help, and I'm able to DPM this, or clip out this Tiger 2 before he can reload again. So that breaks that, and now we're up to 6 kills. We've secured the top gun, and we've got 11k win rate at 3,580 damage. And now the PTA comes storming around. I think he's going to come, and I'm really freaking out because I didn't think I had the gun impression to shoot him there. But once again, he plays very passively, and I don't want to talk down this PTA, but he could have just killed me so easily, like 8 times this game, just by charging me. And now that he's one shot and I'm one shot, it's really to the point where I have to start making up stuff, and I go, I got no shells, kill me please, and no one obviously is going to believe that. I'm just, whatever. I'm close to no shells. I got 4 shells left. And the guy in NTR obviously is not going to believe that, because, that's just a funny trick that obviously anyone would play at this point, and obviously by me attempting it, you show that it doesn't work all the time. Now the PTA does break camo. I'm pretty sure he ran back into the Abbey, and darted down the 5-6 line into our base at this point, or he could have gone back the 8-9 line and come all the way behind me, but at the same time he knows that I'm just going to camp here. So I decide to get in a better camoed position, do the same thing that I did with the Tiger 2, make them come at me, and hopefully I'll be able to shoot them before they can shoot me, just because they're going to have to be on the move. But at this point, I see no traces of the PTA, and I decide he knows I'm in this specific spot, and I can slip out to the 5-6 line, but I'm really in not a good position the more you think about it, because he has eyes wherever I was, and if he's up here on the north side of the map, I'm going to have to go out there and he's going to spot me. Or if I go out on the south side of the map and he's on the south, then he's going to spot me first and I'm going to be screwed, because no matter which way I go, I'm going to have to break into the open. But then I figure out, oh wait, he's capping, and that's another mistake by him. He should never have capped in this game, because that gives away his position. At the same time, if he caps in and gets off, I know that he's on the northern side of the map near cap, and that is on a raised surface. So on the high ground, I can take the advantage here. Now in tanks, high ground is not always the best, because it does give away the fact that you need gun depression. Now what really strikes me here is that I end up getting spotted by the PTA, which you'll see my 6th sense go off. And that's one of the things that I did not think would happen. I was on the move, but he obviously has coded optics. So I take a few snapshots here. I waste, I think, 2. I realize I have 2 shells left at this point, and I really just need to engage him. He's obviously capping out, but the fact that there is a nice ridge here that I could pretty much hold down on because I'm a rear-turreted tank I can also reverse up on, I really just want to get the spot for him. So at first I come up slowly, I get the spot, I turn back, he's not even looking at me, now he turns his turret, and I just snapshot him right in the face. So that's really, like I said, the best game I have ever played in this tank, let alone the game probably as a whole. I do have another really good game in a 430, but if you were to critique pretty much every part of the gameplay, this is probably one of the best games I've ever had. I mean, credit to that PTA, he held up a tough fight there, definitely with the breaking camo and everything. Not the best move, but he obviously made me shit my pants, and I could tell you my heart was pounding in this game. So, obviously, I'll have the after battle reports next, but I really just suggest you guys get a 1390 because you can accomplish games like this with it. Just wanted to show you guys this replay because it was, like I said, one of the best games I've ever had, and hopefully you guys can learn something about gameplay from watching this and how I explained my moves and everything. So I have the after battle reports next, and stay tuned, guys. Alright guys, so the after battle reports are as follows. I got Top Gun, Bruiser, Hand of God, and Fire for Effect. We got the Mastery Badge, Ace Tanker, due to the 1,481 base experience with almost 4k damage and 7 kills. We also got almost 7k XP from the ×3. All the tanks we damaged are right there. Pretty much, that was one of the best games, I've said it a million times, that I've played. Obviously, we lost 107,000 credits. Because of the massive amount of gold firing. 1390 is pretty much one of the other tanks, other than the E100 and FV183, that I fire exclusively gold in, just because it makes the tank that much more overpowered, and it's just so worth it. I mean, despite those, I mean, if I had a game like this for every amount of credits lost like this, I would totally do it every time. It's just so fun, and just so, it's a great experience, especially with this World of Tanks game. Penetrations 24-35, shots fired. RNG kind of screwed me with that first PTA engagement in that little Abbey part, but other than that, our team scored. You can see a massive carry right there. Other tanks that did pretty well were obviously just the KV5, and T28, despite being a tomato, did okay. Their team, obviously PTA carried, and the Foch did really well too. So that's that really. The Bulldog did pretty well too. Indian Panzer also. So other than that, that's really just the end of this video. I wanted to showcase this 1390 in a really exclusive video for this week, and that's pretty much it. Alright, so in conclusion, pretty much 1390, one of the best tier 8 scouts in the game, has a great capability for after the main fight is over, just to come in and get sloppy seconds, such as really what French tanks are meant for in this game, as opposed to the TDs and artillery. Really, the medium and heavy lines do that quite well. Obviously, the clip autoloading cannon is one of its highlights. The F3 also its amazing mobility and pretty good terrain resistance on the 1390, as good view range, good overall spotting ability, and in combination with coded optics, whether it be coded optics, binocs, vents, whatever you want to run on it. It is a great passive and or active scout. So once again, one of my favorite tier 8s in the game, if not my favorite, and that's pretty much wraps it up for this review of the 1390. I've gone ahead, bought the Lorraine, played a few games in it just to get the gist of it, and I've moved the crew over. So we'll have that video up next, is the Lorraine, and then we'll get the batchat hopefully sooner or later. So yep, hope you guys liked the review. Comment, rate, subscribe, and happy tanking.